Another one.
Boss passed me up for 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 promotions trying to quiet fire me. All right. I do my job well, or I do my job and I do it well. This has garnered the attention of executives who are now going to me who are now going to me instead of him to solve problems, which my boss doesn't like too much. At this point, I've been passed up for 5 promotions to what is effectively a junior role. All of the hires are better paid with less experience and were hired solely because they worked with my boss in the past in completely unrelated roles. I also found out I was passed up for a raise recently despite doing much more than is required. There are multiple departments I could easily move to with better pay slash culture, and I intend to, but this leaves a sour taste in my mouth, and I hate to see the company suffering because of nepotism. Not sure I can keep my mouth shut until I move if this keeps up. He's piling on work outside my normal task, which already take up 50 to 60 hours a week. What should I do? That is a great question. All right. Angie says that's too much work for one person. That's a fact. All right. So, what should you do if your boss hates you, right? And now because your boss hates you, you're like,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
so I would say that. So you see, and this is why I like this question, right? Because everyone is like, "Oh my god, this is bad," and you need to go pass up for 5 promotions. Manager sounds like a trash can, and I'm gonna say this, right? This is a totally one-sided. Perspective, right, from this person who asked the question, and I'll tell you this, right? Years ago, I was doing. Where's the timer? Years ago, right? I was doing a performance review, right? And you know how in the performance review, like you'll have someone say like they'll say like what they rate themselves, right? And then you put what you rate the person, and then like you try to find it in the middle. Well, there was this one time someone put um exceeds expectation all on the line, right? And then on my sheet, everything was needs improvement, right? So take that for what it's worth, right? But we're gonna go with the question. Right? I'm just throwing that out there, right? So, what should you do? Well, number one, you should keep quiet until you move, right? Like we were talking about earlier, push through. And if you like, here's the thing, right? People just feel like they have to say something. They just have to say something. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. For me, the only thing that I know that's fair, is when in the city or down here in South Florida they have the Miami Fair, the youth fair, where you drive down and you go. There's a bunch of animals and rides and stuff like that, right? When it comes to fair, that's the only thing I think of, right? That's life, right? You got to deal with stuff, but if you put you're already in a bad spot, right? If you're gonna sabotage yourself more, then it's gonna be even harder for you, right? And the fact that many people they do not know how to play the game, and that's why that's why we end up in these situations, right? Because we just have to get that fairness and that justice and all that good stuff, and then you end up in court, and we're not going to get into that, but that's a funny court case that's going on right now. But anyways, you got to play the game, right? What if you do your job well, right? If you do your job well, and now you have everybody coming to you instead of to your boss, that doesn't look good. I wouldn't like that, right? I wouldn't like that, and that's why like you're making enemies and not allies, right? And that's what happens. And now you're getting passed up. You're getting all these people hired over you and stuff like that. You have to make allies, right? Especially like you got to look up and you have to say, all right, how can I make this work, right? And then if you join the team, right? If you're not trying to be an outsider and not trying to be adversarial, right? It's going to you'll be in a better position. So that's another perspective. You say that it's possible to go to a different department. There are multiple departments that you could easily move to with better pay and culture. Why haven't you done that? If it's and that's the part that really bothers me a lot of times, right? You say, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that." Well, why haven't you? Why haven't you? Like this is the part that I always talk about, right? I just mentioned about the stoicism. Not getting emotional. I hate to see the company suffering because of nepotism. I couldn't care less, right? It's not my company. I'm here to do a job, and you said you do your job well. I come and I do my job, right? Wherever it is that I go, right? I go to train, I go to do this, I show up, I do what I have to do, and I go, right? That's it. I show up, do what I have to do, and I go. So, with that being said, what should you do? Keep your mouth shut. Do your work and transfer to whatever department or whatever company, or get better pay, get better culture. What was the video that I put this week? What is your purpose? You have to be your purpose. Your purpose is not the company suffering because of nepotism and stuff like that, because they'll run themselves into the ground if that's the case, and they'll lose. But it's about you winning. So do what you got to do. Get your better pay. Get your better culture. Keep your mouth shut. Don't go to war with your boss, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose that war. All right, and keep quiet. Right, or you can join the boss's team, not be adversarial, and then maybe you can get a promotion, and maybe you don't have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. From the perspective that you have shared, I'm just going based off what you have said. All right. It could be a totally different story on the other side. Just throwing that out there, right? So let's wrap that one up. Just my perspective. Like I said, engineered to win. I play the game to win. That's just me. I don't let my feelings get involved. I don't let my feelings make the decisions. Do I care about nepotism? Not one bit. Just run me my money and we good to go, right? And Mitch, make it cash, all right?
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.